Hello, gentlemen. This is an announcement, a testimony, and just a heads up for what's to come. You've all heard, we've been talking about this for a while, about a prayer call for the men in High Level Husband. We've been needing it, we've been wanting it since I've been in this program, been part of this group. It's been an idea that's been tossed around, and I think it was always going to happen. It just had to happen in a certain way. And by that, I mean the Lord is doing something like He always does. And this is a good one. So, a few weeks ago, the idea came back up. And I was like, I said something to my wife about it. And she's like, yeah, that'd be great. Well, next thing you know, I'm thinking about it more and more and more. And it's starting to feel like the Lord's pressing me with it. So, okay. I talked to Tommy about it. And he says, sure, let it rip. And I was like, whoa, hold on, back up. Slow down here. Okay. At first I knew that I'm going to have to pray about this. To see if this is the Lord's will or not. Lord, and this is my specific prayer. Lord, if you will have me do this call, make it so, and you lead it. If not, kill it dead in its tracks. Nip it in the bud, because I want you to lead this call, not me. And, just if it's your will be done. And then I prayed about it. A couple of days go by. I'm still thinking about it, constantly praying about it a couple different times. And in one moment, in one prayer, I was praying the same prayer, the Lord's will, and David Lyda came to my mind. Now, I like David Lyda, and actually I love David Lyda, but it was odd that he came to mind, and sometimes in prayer, I used to get annoyed with this. I would get on this tangent, and I would start daydreaming. Well, next thing you know, this wasn't a vision, but maybe the Lord was showing me. Next thing you know, I was daydreaming about leading this call with David, and David leading prayer. And then I started to feel a sort of way about it. And I know the Lord's not always about feelings, but when He is, there will be a feeling. And so I was like, oh, interesting. Thought nothing of it. Okay, I thought I was just daydreaming. So I continue a couple days later, praying about the situation and the thing, and asking the Lord to have His will and to lead it and to let me know, give me a sign or something. Monday rolls around and we have our call, and David's on the pedestal to be prayed for, and for us to lift him up that week in prayer. And so then Tommy continues talking about purpose and talking about, he gave us 3 challenges to, if the Lord's given us a mission, what's holding us back. He told us to ask ourselves some questions. We wrote those questions down. And again, David Lyda keeps coming up. So as Tommy is giving his Monday teaching, going through his thing, I start thinking about David and who David is, and my past experiences with David, and kind of being in this group and watching David kind of grow. And I realized that when David posts, most of the time he's asking to pray for other people. And then the Lord, at this point, I'm getting this confirmation. I'm feeling it now. I'm getting this confirmation that David's supposed to do this call with me. And so I pray about it again. Towards the end of the call, the Lord starts to speak to me about David and how David, this is for him and that he needs this. I was like, wow, David's an intercessor. The more I started to think about it, the more the Lord started to reveal certain things to me about David. it become obvious. And I was ready to end the Monday call so I could go look at David's profile. I went and looked at all, you can filter in school, his post and his contributions or his comments. And most of David's posts are him asking to pray for other people when he's fasting or when just in general, because this is, in David's own words, his way to connect. And I don't think that's an accident. I think that is who David was designed to be. David's an intercessor, and it's obvious. It's in his character. It's in the way he walks. It's in his tone of voice. It's in his being. And so started to think about the challenges David's had. And so towards the end of the call, I was like, okay, we end the call. Immediately I called Tommy and talked to Tommy about David. And Tommy told me that this was no accident and that he had just gotten off a call with David and that David, yes, 100% needs this. Not only that, David was made for this. Like, this is David's thing. And it's just, to me, like, I don't know if you guys are getting this, but it's blowing me away because the Lord was hitting me with this just left and right with how he was going to use David and how he was going to help David all in one. And so much of this is foresight. So much of this has yet to be revealed, but I can see it. I just know something huge is going to happen. And so after Tommy kind of showed me some things about David or told me a little bit of things without revealing any sensitive information, I was like, okay, what should I do? I wanted to wait and pray about it a couple of days, but Tommy was like, no, call him now. And I was like, okay, wow. So I called David, and at first David was like, let me think about it. I knew the answer already because I knew this is the Lord's will. And towards the end of the call, David started to know the answer already. And I told David, I was like, okay, wait for your confirmation because this will come and the Lord will witness he will send two or more witnesses. He will confirm this in two or more ways. And maybe look for something outside of Tommy because Tommy already knows. Well, a couple days go by and I talked to David, and maybe it was the next day, but David got his confirmation from an outside source saying the very thing that David needed to do something exactly like this. Maybe not even having any idea of what the prayer call was, that was even going to happen. Okay, so I know that I'm leaving a lot of detail out, and maybe this testimony isn't as impactful as like I'm feeling it because I'm not the best communicator, but we are, to kind of boil this down, we're starting a prayer call. This is a thing where David and I we're going to facilitate the call. David is obviously the intercessor here. I'm going to walk this journey with David and help in any way possible, but the Lord's already told me several times to, for lack of a better communicate or better word or way to translate it, is to just hand it over to David. And I was like, Lord, what about all the stuff that you told me to do? It's like, no, don't worry about it. So I'm texting David about this, and like these things are already on David's heart too. Like he already wants to do these things also. So David is going to lead the call, and he's going to lead in a special way. And I'm sure that it's going to be like everything. It's going to grow and it's going to mature and become a beautiful thing. In Hebrews chapter 4:16, after it talks about Jesus, the high priest we were given, let us then with confidence draw near to the throne of grace, that we may receive mercy and find grace to help in time of need. So, first and foremost, we're going to let the Lord lead this. He is going to be the captain of the ship. David is going to be behind the helm, and I'm going to be in the back throwing coals in the fire. And we want anyone and everyone to come. Same with Winner's Circle. And we want you to come boldly. We want you to bring things. We want you to anything. If you're living in the same world that I'm living in, you got something to pray about. You might not know it, but you got something to pray about. So bring your prayers. Let's discuss them. We're going to try to break this into 3 parts. We're going to have a short reading. We're going to do a little bit of study on prayers from the Bible. Maybe start with the Lord's Prayer. It's everything we can reasonably pray for that's not outside the Lord's will. And so we're going to start there, and we're going to study a little bit of prayers, do's and don'ts, and whens and whens nots, and how's and how not to's, and it's all going to be concerning your heart. And I, without a doubt, know that some things are going to happen. So we're going to have the short study of 10, 15 minutes of prayer study. Then we're going to intercede. We got several intercessors in our group. Enrique being one of them, David being one of them. I'm sure more will come up, but we're calling all prayer warriors to show up to the call, and then we're going to have testimonies after we pray. And I believe the Lord wants everyone to pray in this call, not just one guy praying and everyone else listening. Everyone praying simultaneously, out loud, not out loud, whatever it is. Because where 2 or more are gathered, not where 1 is gathered and the rest are sitting listening. We want everyone praying. And then we're going to have a testimony time, because something's been happening in my prayer life where they're all being answered. I've got family members, every one of them that I pray for, they're coming to Jesus. There's a church that I go to. I can't say it's my church, but it's a church that I go to, and they do a prayer call every Sunday before the sermon. No one goes up there. 2 or 3 people maybe, but I've made it a thing where every week I go up there, whether I have something to pray for or not. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But every time, even when I don't have something to pray about, as soon as I get up there, the Lord reminds me of something that I can pray for. And so I know it's going to be good. And whether you are struggling, whether you're not struggling, whether you're hurting, you know someone that's hurt. You know someone that's sick. You know someone that needs to know Jesus. You know someone that needs a job, it doesn't matter. We're going to pray for all of it. And the first thing we're going to pray for, we're going to highlight the Lord's will. We're not going to pray for things outside of the Lord's will. First, we don't know what the Lord's will is, but we're not going to pray for Jimmy to get a short sentence if he's been molesting children. I don't know if there's a Jimmy molesting children, but an example. Certain things what I'm saying here is there's certain things I'm not going to approach my God for. And so we're going to pray for his will in a situation. That his will might not be what you want. Okay? Be prepared for that. His will is supreme, perfect, and much better than anything we can imagine. So we're going to pray for his will. I'm going to emphasize that heavily. So that way we don't end up with our faith being short-sighted. And so that's it. I hope you all join us, and I'm excited. I'm excited. I can't wait to see some breakthroughs and some healings, deliverance. I'm not be surprised if the book of Acts shows up, and like this is what I want. I don't want nothing to do with no more. Oh, Father, thank you, and just I want fire. And this is what I want. And maybe it's not the Lord's will, but I know it is. I know He wants fire too. He wants to do a lot more than what He's doing with Christians. For followers, He wants to do a lot more. He wants to show us more. He wants to do more for us. He wants us to do more for Him. All these things. And so I'm excited. I love you guys, and I will request that you continue or add this to your prayer list, and so that the Lord have His will with this call.